Namaste. My name is Michele Hawkins-Jones, and for many years I served as the acting coach at St. Paul Community Baptist Church. For the years of 2009 through 2011, I directed MPBC Suite, A Healing Journey. I'm currently the original director for Mount Pisgah Baptist Church. So my question to you, Bishop, is what are the key elements that should be included whenever telling a MPBC story?
What I wanted to do was to figure out how to do what the scriptures required by way of a relevant interpretation. We have the history of people in the Old Testament who suffered. There were identifications that we made with them. And then, of course, when we get to Jesus, we are reminded that he indeed was the scapegoat for what a people went through. So that's one of the reasons I enjoy him now. Yes, I adore him and all of that, but I enjoy Jesus because he was wounded for our transgressions and bruised for our iniquities. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are made whole. I believe that with all of my heart.
What do you feel is your legacy? Do you feel MPBC is your legacy? And how do you want it to be remembered, say 50 to 100 years from now when you're not around?
That my greatest legacy is the right to call a spade a spade. It's racism. Racism is a sin against God, because racism quintessentially says that God up when he made Black people. So all of the talk about the sizes of our brain, even the sizes of our love muscles, the sizes of our muscles. I remember some years ago that was a great discussion. Racism says God in creation when he made us. The stupidest notion in the world, because the Garden of Eden was located in the Fertile Crescent. So God knew he was working with something that was extremely and highly potentialized.
Over the years that we've watched young people come through the MPBC experience, it always leaves a profound emotional impact on them. Is there a way to have an ongoing program in which we continue to teach our children about MPBC?
I think MPBC lives now. Now, if we are talking about a particular programming, a particular presentation, the best thing I can say is you have to keep attracting and keep going after the incidents that let us know MPBC is in continuation, that racism is not dead, and that slavery, where not physical, can still be psycho-spiritual. So therefore, every day, we really should feel the responsibility to recover from this tragedy.
How does revisiting the pain of the past help us to heal?
So we go back in order to know what the enemy is, what the weapon is, and we go back also to get relief from the pain then, because we cannot appreciate now if the ghosts and the horrors of the yesteryears keep overshadowing our progress. And there are those who don't want to forget, and there are those who must forget. And unfortunately, we have tragedies of people who have not forgotten and somehow or another still live within the confines and the throes of that pain, even if it is psychologically, emotionally, and I have to say as a Christian, even if it is spiritual.
After all these years, Bishop, please share with us your thoughts on the MPBC.
My thoughts on MAAFA is that, first of all, I'm extremely grateful that there was a word in the African languages that spoke to this condition and this possibility, MAAFA. There are persons who celebrate, or at least remember in some celebrative way, their struggles. And they have a name for it, and they have so politicized it that it was said in many instances by scholars and people who are trying to deal with the situation of African Americans in this color conscious culture, that we were not to use their word. So when Marimba Ani and when Ariel Roberson, those are the people that I found writing and speaking, when they gave us MAAFA, it feels good to just own our own word.
Namaste. I am Jesse Wooden Jr., the original director of MAAFA Suite, A Healing Journey at St. Paul Community Baptist Church. Namaste, Bishop. When you gather together the artists, the performers, the musicians, the technicians, the writers, remind us of what you had in mind. Where were we going? What was this journey to be about?
I am so glad that my frustration made me do what the average one of my ecclesiastical peers is afraid to do. And that is change the culture. When it came into existence, when it started to happen, and people like Jesse Wooten, and then, yourself, Michele, Curtis Jones, Maurice Montgomery, Jamel Gaines, people, others that that came in, we found people found us. I had no idea that it would ever happen like that. And I have to call Monica Walker's name. I had no idea it would blossom, balloon into what it has.
Did you have an idea the effect that you had on people going through this journey of healing through the transatlantic slave trade?
The bottom line is we also have to deal with our children. What do we tell our children? You can't do MAAFA without white folk, and you can't do MAAFA without children. Cornella Jones, who was one of the women who worked with us, said that when they were putting all of the dolls together, that one of the things that gripped her in the preparation is she forgot that children were slaves too. And then she said she forgot that pregnant women were enslaved also and maltreated, humiliated, mutilated. That nobody was spared this evil, nobody. And therefore, all of our people need to know about it.
How will we use MAAFA to continue a current day construct based on a historical foundation?
I think MAAFA lives now. Now, if we are talking about a particular programming, a particular presentation, the best thing I can say is you have to keep attracting and keep going after the incidents that let us know MAAFA is in continuation, that racism is not dead, and that slavery, where not physical, can still be psycho-spiritual. So therefore, every day, we really should feel the responsibility to recover from this tragedy.